Hey, this is Tuhan Aditya from Lighthaven, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the first partner-based knife drill that I teach my students. Before we begin, it's important to understand why we do partner-based flow drills. Don't worry, I'm going to keep the why short, but understanding the why is going to directly affect your ability to master the single knife and these flow drills. Now, when we talk about single knife based flow drills, we are trying to accomplish a couple of things. Number one is I am trying to teach my partner what a low thrust looks like, what a high thrust looks like, whatever the most common types of attacks that you get from a knife. I want them to learn what those lines look like, so that when they see it in real life, God forbid they see it in real life, but if they see it in real life, they aren't taken aback. The second thing is I'm getting them used to seeing a knife coming their way. Even if it is a training knife, you will often be really surprised how people in the beginning classes, first classes, are not comfortable with even a wooden knife coming at them like this. So we call it a process of threat inoculation. We're just getting them used to dealing with a weapon coming at them in these different lines. The third reason, and this is a reason that's also very specific to the drill that we have chosen today, we are teaching them to not only protect themselves from the knife, but to immediately counterattack. The drill we're going to be working on is called Patayan, or your draw-to-draw drill. The reason we're doing this drill is because it combines or has within it a lot of the statistically most common attacks that you face with a knife. It's also a drill that has something, whether you're a beginner or whether you're someone more advanced, this drill has something for you within it. Also, a lot of the drills, knife drills that come after this, whether it's Sabayan or anything else that comes from this, your thrust and slash drills, all borrow very heavily on the skills that you learn within this drill. So the basic draw-to-draw drill starts with a low thrust. Now, one of the reasons it's called the draw-to-draw drill is because you're assuming you're pulling your knife out as you thrust. Now, Riju is going to give me a low thrust, and I am going to just make a simple, very simple frame. Now, what I want to really keep in mind is I don't want to think of this as a block. I am not blocking as if I would in karate. The way that I like to think about this is that if I had a knife in the other hand, instead of me, he thrusts, instead of me blocking this way, I am meeting his thrust with a thrust of my own into his leg. So I want to go thrusting down rather than hacking down like this. So Riju is going to thrust, then I am going to thrust. As I thrust, Riju pulls his knife back to his hip. And that's basically just the first part of the drill. It's very simple. He thrusts, I thrust. He thrusts, I thrust. He thrusts, I thrust. Now, what's really important here is structure, of not just structure of the frame, but structure of my body. If my arm is around, thrust is about 90 degrees and Riju pushes, this is going to collapse. I want my forearm to my bicep angle to be about 120 degrees. So when Riju thrusts and now he puts pressure into it, I can take a lot of stress over here just by virtue of having good, strong structure. And later on, this becomes almost this becomes a sort of expression of what we call a bladed hand. A bladed hand means that I want to literally imagine my forearm bone as the blade. So when he's thrusting, I'm smashing that forearm bone down into his arm. I just want to cause him as much pain as possible. If I can slow down this sewing machine movement, if I can slow down how fast he's thrusting, then that's going to be me thinking that I have achieved my objective by causing him some pain. The next part of the drill is a high thrust. Now, for the sake of making life easy for my partner, especially in the beginning, I'm assuming that whoever is learning this in the beginning is someone who is a little bit new to the art. And so I want to give them nice clean lines to react to. I don't want to make things confusing for them where they're going to flail. I want them to be successful, at least in reading these lines. So I'm not going to thrust, keep it really tight and thrust like this. I want to thrust from the outside a little bit, just for now. As they start to get more comfortable, then we're going to change up how we attack and where we attack. But just for now, we're going to thrust from the outside. So Riju is going to thrust to my neck. Now, this is the really interesting thing about weapon arts. If Riju gives me a slap or gives me a hook from this hand, and I can block it like this, I can block it like this. However, keep your hand there. As soon as I put a knife in his hand, suddenly it's way too close for my comfort. And so now, when we're talking about dealing with a weapon, I need to react a little bit earlier. I need to jam a little bit earlier. So as Riju starts to thrust, I'm going to step in and jam that bicep, so that now when he thrusts, and he puts pressure into me, puts his weight into me, I can take a lot of weight and a lot of pressure like this, because I have my entire body weight behind my hand. Come back. Now question would be, when he thrusts, can he cut your arm? Yes, he can cut my arm, but it's better than him thrusting into my neck or cutting my face. And later on, as we evolve this drill and Riju thrusts, then we start to check the knife as well as the bicep. For now, just we want to keep things simple, so we're going to check that bicep. So Riju thrusts high, I check that bicep. Now I'm going to pull this hand back and thrust high. Riju checks that bicep. Then he thrusts high, I thrust high. He thrusts high, I thrust high. So first we're just going to go low thrust to low thrust and just get comfortable here. Get comfortable with the low thrust, then we're just going to go high thrust to high thrust. Once you're comfortable with that, now we're going to go low thrust, high thrust, high thrust. So he thrusts low, I thrust low. He thrusts high, I thrust high. He thrusts low, low, high, high. Low, low, high, high. So now we're going to go with low, low, high, high, but we're just going to add a little bit of movement into it. Riju is going to be following me. So we go low, low, high, high. And now Riju just moves with me. You can move in a circle, in a semicircle. While we're moving, if you notice, my structure remains the same, and I'm not crossing like this or crossing like this, and I'm not standing in front of Riju with my legs square. I'm remaining in my stance or whatever structure it is that I'm using. Once you're comfortable going low, low, high, high, and adding movement into it, next we can start randomizing it. So it's still going to be nice and slow. He goes low, low, and now you can go wherever you want, low or high. Now let's say I make a mistake where he thrusts low and I'm jamming that bicep instead of checking or bisecting that forearm. Now the question I always ask people when they do that, because they always do that, is did you get hit? And if the answer is no, then I'm like, all right, you're going to get another chance to fix this in literally 2 seconds. So just fix it next time. It's better to do that than, oh no, I made a mistake and I have to start again. What we're trying to do is we're trying to facilitate that flow state where Riju and me are just flowing. And once you're comfortable with this, now you can start adding that movement into it as well. The first thing to keep in mind is to be light, to go light. Don't be smashing into each other's hands when he thrusts high. Don't be trying to grab his bicep and like really squeeze. You will be surprised as to how often you'll do this drill with someone or you'll teach this drill and people will be left with finger marks on their biceps and bruised forearms. So go light, you have to still be able to train the next day. The next thing is maintain structure. If he's thrusting high, and this is what's happening to me, my structure is breaking, then there's something very wrong. A huge part of this drill, why it has such an important place in PKT is because it's teaching you to have good structure. The next one is to be clean. It's up to me to make sure my partner gets good, and a lot of that has to do with how I feed him. So if I don't feed him clean attacks, if I try and fake or flail and all these kind of things, then he's also going to have very strange reactions. He's going to build those kind of patterns, which I don't want. I want to do 2 things. I want my own patterns to be clean, and I want his reactions to also be clean. I also want to teach him what these lines look like. If he cannot see these lines, then when I add fakes in there or feints in there or more movement in there, he definitely will not see all of that stuff. So we have to build things up stage by stage by stage by stage. The next point is don't jerk. This has a lot to do with being clean. So if Riju is going low, low, and whenever Riju goes high and I suddenly try and like jerk, or if he's going low, low and he goes high and I get scared and I thrust him at the same time, I'm going to hurt him, right? So I don't want to do that. Just know that we're going nice and slow and you are not in any danger. It's a training blunt knife. Even if I strike him, I'm not in any danger. And so take your time. If you screw up, there are very few consequences because you're going to get another chance in another few seconds. So don't be in a rush, don't jerk, be clean. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, if you learned from what you saw, please do like and share this video. Please do subscribe to the channel. If you have anything to add to the discussion, leave that in the comments down below. If you have any questions or requests for future videos, please also leave that in the comments down below. All of these things really do help out the school and the channel a lot. A huge thank you to all of our patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to know more about our Patreon and the stuff that we offer exclusively over there, check out the link I'm going to leave down below. Also, our online classes are up and running. Our residential program is up and running. To enroll for either of them, email us through the link I'm going to leave down below. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.